Hi, you're listening to Mind Your Business with Carla Dennis, and I am Carla Dennis. All the years that I've been in business, I have to tell you, I've seen so many business owners lose their business, make critical mistakes in their business because of lack of knowledge. I want to provide you with great tools and content so that you don't make these same critical mistakes in your business. And our topic today on MYBUniverstiy, we're going to be talking about contingency plans and why it's important for business owners to have a contingency plan. And we're just going to start right off with what is a contingency plan. A contingency plan really is a plan B. It's a backup plan that you have in place in case something happens in your business. I cannot tell you how critical it is to make sure that you have a contingency plan in your business because life is happening while we're making the best of plans. You want to make sure that that contingency plan speaks to any event that certain things happen in my business, whether you're taken out of the business for a temporary basis or out of the business, unfortunately, for a permanent basis. You want to have a plan as to how that business is going to operate if something were to happen. And that plan needs to be out of your head, written down on paper, because I know if you're anything like me as a business owner, I have all these plans written in my head, but it's sometimes I got to get those plans down on paper. It needs to be someplace that's easily accessible. Like if someone were looking for something, where would they be able to find it? And I literally myself, I keep a binder. If something happens to Carla, look here. It's literally that simple because I don't want it to be a headache for my family or whomever needs to access that information. And it needs to be a plan that you need to go over with the people involved. So many times things happen and we are assuming that maybe our brother, our sister, a spouse, our children are going to take over a situation and they have no idea that they've been put in charge of something, nor do they even understand what needs to happen. So the more you can have this conversation with them, go over it with them and bring them up to speed, the quicker they're going to be able to operate and go to the plan in the event something happens. So why do you need a contingency plan as a business owner? And that's the million-dollar question, right? And I'm just going to tell you, for most business owners, your livelihood is based on your business. Businesses have certain stages that they go through, and one of the early stage of business especially is the sole proprietor stage where you're the only person that is working in your business, and you're bringing home money to support your family, to support yourself. It is the way that you eat and sleep indoors on a daily basis is the income derived from your business. What happens if something were to happen to you? What happens if you can no longer be the person that's servicing your clients? Do your clients go unserved? Do you go without income? Possibly if you don't have a contingency plan in place. Most small business owners, even those that onboard employees, they typically in the beginning don't onboard employees at the level that they're at. They don't onboard people that can replace them in the event that something were to happen. So it's very important to have a contingency plan, even if you have employees. And if you have people in your practice that do what you do, for example, at my company, Cohesive, I have other enrolled agents that do what I do. However, there are certain ways that I operate my business that my team needs to know about. So if something were to happen, the business can continue. They can continue to get paid. My customers can continue to be served because we cannot afford as small business owners to lose customers. So a contingency plan is really, really important. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what are some things you need to have contingency plans for? And I will just give you some basic things that you need to have contingency plans for. I'm going to start at the highest need. That is, what happens if you get more business than you can handle? Would you turn down business as a business owner? And that's a very interesting question because individuals run out of the capacity to handle clients. Businesses never run out of the capacity to serve customers. Business owners never run out of the capacity to serve customers. And I want to give you some examples. Sometimes as you're driving up and down the street, you start to see different types of businesses repeat themselves almost on every corner. And you ask yourself, why is there a gas station on every corner? Why is there a Starbucks on every corner? All these yogurt places popping up. Because there's a need to service these particular clients, and one location is not making it happen. So as a business owner, you have to think in terms of, what do I need to do if I get more business than I as an individual can handle? And one of the things that you want to be able to do is really have relationships with other people that can step in your shoes. I'll give you a very prime example of that. As a tax professional, before I had other professionals in my office who could do what I do, I established a relationship with other tax professionals that I felt were very good at their trade. And we agreed that in the event that either one of us got into an illness or something were to happen, that I would service their client for them, and we worked out the fees associated with that so that they could keep some income going. Of course, I would get some payment from it, but they wouldn't lose their customers. So it's very important that you have those types of relationships established up front before you need it, because when you need it, you're not going to be able to get it. And I can tell you a story where I had another enrolled agent, a really good friend of mine. She unexpectedly went down in February. And we had already established that relationship. Her husband and mom reached out to me and said, Carla, we have a boatload of clients and we need them serviced. So we worked it out where we were able to do the tax returns for her. When she got better, her clients were right there waiting for her. And we were very clear, we're servicing you on behalf of her. And we're talking about contingency plans and having relationships with other people that you can step in and help you operate your business. And that's very important. The other thing is, too, what if something doesn't happen to you, but all of a sudden you get a surge of business? How quickly can you onboard employees? How quickly can new people start in your company and have access to a system and process? And I will tell you that as a business owner, if you can get system and process written down on paper, you are going to always have a lucrative business. You're going to always sit on a gold mine. Most businesses don't put system and process in place until they become a very successful business. But if you do it from the very beginning, you will be able to grow your business systematically and ensure that things are being done the correct way. The very easy way to get system and process in place, to get a tape recorder and record your system and process. At least somebody can transcribe that. You could clean it up, but you will have system and process in play. So that's very, very important to do. One of the biggest things that we suffer with as business owners, at least I know I do, some of my other small business clients, what happens in the event that our computers go down? Once you've grown your business and now you're operating on a server with employees, whether the server's in the cloud or, behind the moon or in the closet, it's all the same. They go down from time to time, which is absolutely the most nerve-wracking thing in business, is when systems go down. But the key for you is, how quickly can you get your system back up? Where's your data being stored? I will tell you personally, we had a situation where our systems went down on April 1st, 15 days before tax season. But I didn't have the nervous breakdown because I had a contingency plan in place to be able to hot move over to another system where my data was backed up, and we were able to go next in about 2 hours. So that is so critical. What happens if you can't service your customers? I was in an establishment over the weekend picking up some food for my family, and they told me that our ATM machines are down. We can't take ATM cards or debit cards or Visa cards. We can only take cash. Well, I didn't have cash, so guess what happened? They lost a customer. So it's very important that you always have a backup plan in place. Extremely, extremely important. What if you suddenly cannot work? And this is where, when I bring on my guest, Bob Shepard, we're going to get into more of this conversation. But if you can't work, do you have disability coverage in place? What if your operations completely go down, you're sick, you can't even talk to people? How are you going to get some income for your business? We have to always be thinking of ways to protect our business. So it's so important that you have that in place. You also want to make sure you have a person in place that knows your operations, someone that can come in and just pick up where you left off and be able to understand your business and manage your business. Maybe a key employee in your organization or a key somebody, but somebody needs a key. And if you have that person, there's certain types of insurance you'll want to have for that person as well. So these are all such very important things to keep your business going. I will tell you, this is a really sad story, but I just feel so compelled to tell you this. I had a business owner who left a major company and he started his own flooring company. He was married, he and his wife, they had 5 kids under the age of 8. His business was doing extremely, extremely well. Well, his wife thought she had the flu. She took sick, and within about 3 months, she passed away, unfortunately, of breast cancer. Based on that, he was literally taken out of his business. He couldn't deal with it. He lost his wife. He had 5 kids under the ages of 8. His mental state of being was not there. What do you think happened to his business? His business just started to implode and fold up because he didn't have a contingency plan in place. It was a new business, but he was doing extremely well. It was extremely lucrative. He had employees. It just turned out to be a fiasco. 4 or 5 years later, we had to come back and clean that up for him. But like I said to him, and like I'm saying to you today, a contingency plan is critical. It may not be you that something happens to. It could be someone else in your family where your mental state of mind is just gone, or you physically can't be there because you have to take care of someone. You want to make sure that you have these things in place. So here are another couple of things that I want to make sure you have in place. I want to make sure that your family understands the value of your business. That's very, very key. If you have a business and let's say you no longer can ever be there again in your business, does your family know the value of your business, or would you allow your business to just fold up and close? A lot of solopreneurs think that their business has no value. But if you were getting paid to do a service for people, your business has value. And one of the biggest values you have in a service business is that database of clients that you are working for. That database is priceless, and a database can be sold to somebody who has another service business that may be somehow connected to your business where you share the same clients, and that person would be willing to pay money for that database. So it's important you know the value of your business. It's important that you have the right insurance on yourself as an individual. It's important that you are able to position your business to sell in the event that something happens to you. If you have any questions and want to talk to myself or my guests, please reach us at 800-721-7374. That's 800-721-7374, or reach us at MYBUniverstiy.com. That's MYBUniverstiy.com. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to have this conversation with you again next week. And remember, mind your business.